Hey guys, I wanted to talk about some of the common questions that I've been being asked on Facebook. I will also include my Facebook in the comments down below in case you want to follow or reach out. One of the first questions I want to address is, yes, I do have a GoFundMe that was set up by a friend of mine named Lee. I have not been a big advocate on promoting it, as I've never done this for self-gain in any way, shape, or form, and I don't want people to feel like that's why we went on the Dr. Phil show, because we definitely did not go on for that reason. We genuinely went on because we were out of options, and they were getting ready to release Robbie back into the general public, and we knew that couldn't happen. And because he didn't take his 15 months in treatment seriously, they didn't see the insurance and them weren't going to continue to accept him being in there, and our insurance wasn't going to continue to contribute to paying for that type of treatment. So we wrote the Dr. Phil show because we really just needed help, and we did not want him back in the general public. So we reached out so that we could hopefully figure out some resources. Never did we ask Dr. Phil to pay for a thing. We never asked for charity. When I wrote the show, I was actually very specific, and I said, we'll pay whatever we have to pay. We'll do whatever we have to do. Just we need to get him in treatment. And I feel like I keep hitting a bunch of dead ends, and the charges that were being brought against him, there was a huge gap. And so the biggest thing for me was filling that gap. I did not want him out and able to hurt anyone. So that was really important to us to make sure that he was continuing to get treatment. The second common question that I get on Facebook is, what was it like being on the Dr. Phil show? What conversations did we have outside of the actual show? So for me, when I've been watching Dr. Phil since I was young, I love Dr. Phil and his show. I've always loved Dr. Phil, and I also really love Ellen. Oh my gosh, that's my dream. So how about I went out to Ellen to see her show, and I flew all the way there just for a chance to be able to get in. And unfortunately, I didn't get in, but that's okay. I still love you, Ellen. You're still somebody who I really admire and respect, because you're just a really good, genuine person. But anyway, so as for what was it like on the Dr. Phil show? So basically, we flew out there and we spoke mostly with his assistant, who helped us with the entire process. And before and after the actual show, we did not speak to Dr. Phil. It's a misconception that you get to have these really deep conversations with him. But none of that really mattered to us as long as the information was given to us. It was never about meeting Dr. Phil. It was just never about that for my family. It was just, I didn't even need to go on the show, and I've made it very clear to them, and I'm sure they would be the first to tell you that we didn't care if the episode ever aired. I just didn't care. I did not go on it for television purposes. I went on it because we needed help, and I have a lot of respect for Dr. Phil and his crew and how they can kind of provide resources in a sense of knowledge, not necessarily financial, and the fact that they were able to connect us with a program who they did take Robbie in for free. That was amazing, and I was so appreciative. I've never been given such an amazing gift in my life, and the moment, I can't even tell you how. I didn't know anything about it until I was on stage, so my reaction is just very genuine. That's just kind of how it happened. And then more questions. I'm trying to think. Oh, some people want to know what it was like whenever Dr. Phil handed me the handkerchief. That sounds so silly, right? But what's funny is every time Dr. Phil hands somebody a handkerchief, and I watched him growing up, I was like, oh wow, that's so cool. He gave what a gentleman gesture. And I thought that moment would be bigger too for me. But honestly, I just didn't even care. In the moment, I was like, thank you for giving me something so that my snot isn't all over my face, because I was so emotional and it was just so challenging. So I can't tell you what it was like, because honestly, it just was I didn't even think about it. It wasn't even a conscious thing that happened. And yes, I do still have my hanky somewhere. I think it's shoved in my purse and still covered in makeup and that's probably terrible to admit. It's probably like molding and rotting in there, because I don't think I've ever touched it since the show. But that's okay. Maybe I'll get it out. Maybe I'll get it out and show you guys. Because there are some people who were very interested in that. I just thought that was funny. Oh, another question is, so what has happened since the show? Like, have they reached out? Is there going to be a follow-up? That's like 3 questions. I know, I'm sorry, I'm not great at this. But I have not been reached out to by them about doing a follow-up show. However, so much has happened since the show aired. It was 10 months ago. And so I don't know how my family would feel, but I would be willing to do an update. Only because I get that question so much. It would be nice just to be able to do an update and just put it out there and then not have to repeat myself 100 times, because that gets exhausting. But I definitely want to reach out to everybody who's been supportive, and like, that's important to me to reciprocate the love, because ironically, I have found this very soothing in a way, because there's more good than bad. So I'm just very appreciative of the good versus the bad. I forget what else I said. Oh, so since the show, have they reached out or anything? So I definitely still have contact with Dr. Phil's. He's basically like his right-hand man. If I need anything or I have something to say, I can text him, and he definitely responds, and they definitely have respect for me as a person, and I have so much love and respect for them. So I'm confident if I truly needed something or had to communicate something, that I would be able to do that. They've been really great about responding, and also just kind of comforting me throughout the whole process and making me feel okay with what's happening. So yeah, so that's been really nice. But no, I don't know if I finished answering the question, but no, you don't get to talk to Dr. Phil before or after. You just talk to him on stage, and that's it. So what you see is the conversation that I had. There was no other conversation outside of that. Oh, and then somebody else said, what was it like having Meghan Trainor in the audience? Guys, I didn't even know she was in the audience. And what's funny is when we walked off stage, Robin like grabbed my hand to like shake my hand and show compassion. I had no idea Meghan Trainor was sitting next to her. No idea. That's how much I was just not there for like all of that. I like really didn't notice anybody around me. And I thought I would be so much more aware of like just talking about it in front of people, but it's such like a small stage and such a small intimate setting that I honestly didn't take note to like who was out there. I really was there for the information, and I was so hyper focused on like making sure that the conversation with Dr. Phil was like my focus, that I like didn't notice anything else that was going on around me. So it was just kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know what it was like having her in the audience, because I had no idea she was in the audience. Yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny. But I did see it when our episode aired that she was in the audience. So I was like, no way, that's funny. Hopefully she, was okay with our story. I don't really know what her thoughts and opinions are. And, oh, that was another question. And has she reached out? No, I probably don't expect Meghan Trainor to reach out. If she did, it would be pretty cool, and I would be open to having a conversation with her. But not necessary. Like, that's not why we went on the show yet again. I can't stress that enough. But all right, I'm going to jump off. I've been going on long enough. So again, I'll drop my Facebook page in the comments, and I'll also drop the GoFundMe, even though I don't really care if I get a single dollar, because that's not what this is about. I definitely have been stressed, and I appreciate everyone who says I need a spa day, because I can't. Oh, I could totally use a spa day. It's been a week. But all right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.